that we connected as splenic projectors. I think that caught my eye, and then your astrology insights, and looking forward to, continuing to establish a connection with you, especially through your spiritual gifts. And I think we just align so well, and I love the divine conversations that we have together. And you've helped me with so much, like, in that last conversation, that last session we had, through your insights, you made everything make sense to me so clearly, and it was so specific. And what I was sharing with you, like how I'm so impressed by how you have this emotional component to the way that you flow in your transmissions. And yes, I've gotten, readings before from a few people, and I don't have that resonance emotionally and spiritually in the way that we do. And yes, of course, we're all different. We all have different gifts. I get that. But do you think it's because we're both splenic projectors?
Uh, well, I
Do you
think it's
think
a
that
number.
adds?
Yeah, I think that a projector can really see another projector. That's a superpower. We can really just see into the depths of a person, into their soul. And so I don't know if you have any other projectors that you've connected with one-on-one, but that has been my experience with projectors who are aligned.
Yeah.
Because they can really see that in another person. And so, yeah, I really appreciate your reflection. And I was actually contemplating about that earlier today of how I feel so passionately about astrology and how I could get it to stick with people so that they can use it every single day in just ways that really matter. Like, I wonder what for you beyond like the felt resonance, because that's how it sucked for me. I felt it in my body and I could go back to certain periods of time and run charts on that. But like, how like you being the recipient of this information, how else would you say that it actually stuck and it worked and you utilized it to maybe do something different?
Well, how I shared with you my personal, journey with my mom as a Scorpio rising, and the mother wound there, and how we've been working on healing our connection. And now she's going through this stage in her life where her mental health is slowly declining through short-term memory loss, which, the Matrix will label as dementia symptoms or Alzheimer's, whatever they put on paper there. I've been working with her holistically, and as I've shared with you, I've studied, the moon phases, and I know how to work the energies, particularly on full moons, to to not take things so personal and to transmute the energies that people project on me. And so your advice through the insight of astrology, through the lens of astrology that you shared with me that day, I was able to not really engage in her, in her episode and during, because it was still the full moon, like you said, during that, like you gave me some ease with your dates, and how you suggested and predict, you still predict that she will reach out the 18th, and she actually reached out, as I think you mentioned she would, in a calmer way. You might get something that'll ease you, that'll soften, my wall down again, because when she's another, I almost say like an entity, when it's the bipolar, when the bipolar episodes comes in, it's really hard to take that from your own mother who's, going through some mental changes, so yeah, you were able to support me in calming my nervous system and giving me some hope in a grounded, valid way, because it is playing out that way. She is, because as we know, the full moon energies can last 3, 4 days, even after the full moon is, the phase is over, right? So it's it was soothing, and you were just they were I forgot how our conversation, the direction that it went towards my mom, in that, you just had compassion in such a way where I didn't really need to tell you much detail, with what was going on. I just mentioned the short-term memory loss and how she's kind of in and out and struggling. And, and I shared with you how she is projecting her fears and doubts and insecurities, just being a mom and, you know, still telling me what to do with my life at this point.
Yeah. And I do remember that. So knowing a person's birthday, even if I don't have their birth time, is so beneficial because I could see where a lot of the planets were. And sometimes I can even see where their moon was. The moon moves rapidly every 2.5 days or so, right? It's in a new sign. But for your mom, I do remember that she was born with a Capricorn moon, which in and of itself is really tough. And right now, the moon is in Capricorn, right here and right now. This weekend on the 18th, the date that I had mentioned, we're going to have a new moon at 28 degrees Capricorn. So that's why I had mentioned that particular day. I also do recall that after that, we do have a full moon in Leo, which will be conjunct her natal sun. So again, you see so much through that astrological lens. And for me, that's really helped me with the understanding, with the compassion, with the curiosity, rather than, you know, um, thinking something is directed towards me, just realizing like, oh, it's part of how this person is uniquely wired. And they are loving in the way that they can, that they know how, that they are, wired to do so. And so I'm so grateful that that brought you some peace. And my intention is to continue to do that with you, with anyone else who is interested, because this, like this lens is so profound. It can help, mothers and children and partners and all sorts of relationships. It really can. And I feel as though people just don't currently understand how much it can really help day to day.
Oh, I understand. I resonate with it so well. I've always been attracted and drawn to the mystical and to the inner realm. I don't think there was a day in my life where I didn't.
Yeah.
So this is my reality. And I actually get to live it now, even as a professional. So I'm excited about that. Um, but I love it. The I love the contrast, and I love the way that I feel the same way about my reading styles, it's 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 different. I pull from the Akashic. I'm really good at reading tarot, even though I don't need the tools. But I get such specific stories when I am in the cards. I just do. Even oracle cards now are becoming much easier. Over the years, I only use them as clarifiers, but especially I've been working with astrology oracle cards. Have you ever used them?
I have not. I love that. I didn't even think to do that. And I love that you do what you do because being a Scorpio rising, Cancer rules your ninth house and whole sign. And so your connection to the moon and just so Scorpio rising, also Sagittarius is your second house. So in terms of what you do for a living, you have that curiosity, the adventure, the seeker, the let me try this, type of the astrology or tarot or human design or whatever else. I love that how that you continue to expand. It's beautiful the experience.
Thank you. I mean, I have a friend who's really amazing at what he does as well. I'd love to, for you to experience his reading sometime too, but he told me, Sherry, you may never need to study astrology. And that was like, I don't know, I didn't know if that was a compliment, but the way he delivered it to me was a compliment. But I still like learning. So I may never be as well versed as you guys, but it's intuitive for me, it's
Yeah, I
intuitive.
have experienced that from you too. My observation has been that you are saying the same thing, maybe in a different language, but you're confirming what we are seeing as well through the planets, through the stars, through the alignments. And it's so gorgeous because there is no one right way, right? All these
Yes.
roads lead to the same like path or destination. You know what I mean? It's so just beautiful to again experience and just, yeah, learn from others, especially because you're so on point.
Yes, and I'm actually interested in and excited to hear more about what your ideas in the future of creating your own classes, because I've studied with my friend as well, and I loved his the way he delivered the astrology through the study of the planets and the myths, and it was just it's so cosmic. It was just so like poetry almost. So I'm interested in seeing how you do that as well. And um because I don't have I just go where I'm drawn.
Yeah.
That's like my life's philosophy. And I feel like that's you too. I feel like it's like a lot of our ethics start to merge in what like it just comes naturally. Like we have just like the banter, just like the flow, right? It's a higher type of education. That's why I'm excited about it.
Yes, and I love that. I love that you can flow so effortlessly. And as a projector, we are intended to be invited, not to say yes to every invitation, but to the aligned ones. And we will continue to, follow the path that's intended for us. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, speaking of that, as a projector, right? I haven't met that many yet, but a few, and I do see the similarities. But when I look back at my past before knowing that I was a projector, you know how you first get your chart and you're like, ah, look, all these epiphanies, and you're like, no wonder, because I was the complete opposite in the first half of my life. I was on the hamster wheel. I was go, go, go. I had to work, 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 and or I wanted to. I had so much I had so much energy that I was running on an adrenaline, which led to health issues later, adrenal fatigue and whatever the medical doctors diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. And I don't claim those things, but I work and now have the luxury to at least start to reset my nervous system. And now I've gotten to a much better place health wise. There was a time when I couldn't really even go up a hill.
Wow, that's fascinating. Now I am curious. I just wanted to take a quick look at your chart. I so appreciate you sharing the additional information. I want to say that Aries rules your sixth house of health, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's curious that
Yeah.
it would literally result in physically, because that is our physical health, the sixth house.
You have my chart up?
No, I don't. I was just doing it from memory, but I'd actually
Oh,
love to pull it up just to confirm that.
I should know that by now. But yes, Aries in the sixth house. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay. So the thing about that is you're an Aries sun. You also have Venus and Chiron in Aries, right? And so,
Yes.
yeah, we definitely want to make sure, especially as a projector, the burnout is real. Resentment is a red flag. Whenever that comes up in your body, that's telling you, slow down, stop, reassess, you know, because yes, it can manifest physically. And well, we are intended to be just really especially mindful of our energy and to incorporate spiritual hygiene each and every day, do things like lay on Mother Earth or, hit the reset button really quick by taking a shower, potentially, just all sorts of ways, right? That we can um, cleanse our energy and release the muck that isn't ours to carry is so important. But I'm stressing this point because with what we're moving into in about a month, starting mid-February, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction taking place in Aries,
Yes.
it's going to impact Aries placements profoundly. As a heads up, I can hear an echo.
Oh, yes.
So interesting.
Please share.
Oh, the echo, I don't know what happened
I
to
don't hear it that bad.
yeah.
I don't hear it that much. It's
Okay.
like it's not intense.
Okay. Oh, it went away a little bit. Um, but
Maybe
yeah,
that was meant for me.
that's so interesting. But yeah, so again, so the Saturn Neptune conjunction taking place starting mid-February, February 20th, 2026 is the day that Saturn and Neptune are going to meet up at the Aries point at 0 degrees Aries. It's something they have not done for about 6,000 years, right?
Yes.
It's going to be a significant time. All of us are going to feel it, right? But especially those with Aries placement. So you want to see where Aries lives in your chart. For you, it lives in your house of health and
Yes.
day-to-day things, right? It is your routines, your habits, and it's a house that I feel is often overlooked, but it's so important, right? To stay on top of our physical health, to listen to our body, to heed the whispers before they become screams. And for you, the first placement that you have in Aries is Venus, your values and love. And Venus is also about money a variety of things, art and beauty and things like that. But again,
Yeah,
with regards to,
Venus is there.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I do think that starting mid-February, you will feel a difference, but anything with regards to those red flags of resentment that comes up, it's literally your body telling you this is not in service of your highest and greatest good, however that may manifest. So I highly
Okay.
encourage you to listen to those whispers. Again, just because for projectors that burn out, it's really real. And you're talking about the go, 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 do, do, do. We have superhuman power. I experienced that as well for 40 years. I was led to human design almost 3 years ago. It was Valentine's Day of 2023 that I had my first reading, and I was brought to tears. I was full body goosebumps because not only did I do the reading of myself, I had been endlessly seeking solutions to parent my differently wired boys. I'm a single mama, always looking how to support them and their unique needs. And human design just like opened up this whole other area that I didn't even realize existed. And so um, yeah, just understanding that all my life, when I had all that superhuman energy, I was able to do so much and be super mom and this, that, and the other. It was because I was amplifying the energy around me. It wasn't mine. I do not have any defined motors, any sort of like energy that I could tap into on my own. And I sense that you might be the same as well,
Yes,
right?
yes, I have to take constant naps.
Yes.
And since I was a child, thank you for sharing that because I resonate in a way, even if our stories are different. Since I told you in the last conversation, since I was a little girl, I felt my mother's moods and energy shift. So I knew when she was coming home, and I had to just stay away, you know. So same thing. I do. That's why I like solitude. It's a sense of solace for me, especially, and I talk to people all day and helping them solve their problems and figure things out. Like I need that space for myself to recover, to rest, especially just sharing with you the first half of my life was, led to a dream. And I'm not allowed to live a stressful life anymore. I'm just not. I choose not to, and I choose peace over chaos anytime.
Yes. And the adrenals are connected with Aries as well, and
Oh,
so is the head, so is the brain, so is the
yeah.
face, right? So again, anything coming up in those areas, that's why it's also again,
Sinus. Sinus has been intense. Like last month, I remember I told you I couldn't really connect with you because I was recovering
oh
from
yes,
that, and it's
yes.
it's on again yesterday. Was there a transit yesterday that I missed that this is coming on again? Like I'm getting a head cold. It starts with a head cold, and
Yeah.
then I suffer with sinus pressure because I don't need them to tell me this, but I could tell I have that. What do you call that? The small nasal passage. There's a term for it.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what the term is.
I'll get it for you. But there's a term like it's not, it's so tiny, my nasal passages, so everything gets trapped. Everything, gets trapped here and it creates like sinus pressure and headaches. And then my vertigo gets triggered. So vertigo is also the head with Aries, right?
Yeah, Aries is ahead. And what's interesting is like, so some medical astrologers say that the nose is associated with Taurus, as is the throat. And it's interesting because in Taurus, which is your seventh house, you have Jupiter, Mercury in your south node. And so,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what's going on right now, I mean, we still do have Uranus and in Taurus, and also in the sky right here and right now, we have a lot of Capricorn energy in the last decan in the later degrees, meaning that they are trining, amplifying that Uranus in Taurus. So that would mean like things would come on suddenly, unexpectedly. Oh, it's a surprise that this particular thing is happening. And so again, just through that astrological lens, seeing where everything is right here and right now and how it's activating things in your chart, it's so helpful because then perhaps oh, I got to take action on this right now because with the new moon, it could get even more intense if I don't, correct this particular thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hydrating, lots of electrolytes. I have my light salt.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm taking, quadrupling my vitamins and ample rest.
Yes,
So I'm still working out. I'm still
yes,
doing my daily. It's not an option because I sit a lot.
yeah.
But as long as I have time to rest and recover, and I'm trying to like really do a lot of water therapy. So
That's
thank you
so
for that.
beautiful. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Um, and also, yeah, with the movement, I totally understand that Aries fire, it is not intended to stay still. Aries is a
No.
toddler of the zodiac, right? Like, when do you ever see a child sit still? And so I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you're balancing the elements. It's really cool to be able to look at the elements in our charts to see, oh, where do I need to supplement? Maybe, if some folks, for example, don't have a lot of earth, and maybe they're more in their head so much, then it would be beneficial for them to get out in nature more or slow down, just again, to bring in the element that potentially is not in their charts.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I like a little bit of, even if it's like not, I can't like really specify, like I'm not well versed in the way you guys are with astrology. I just intuitively know, like I learned through the higher, the unconscious expression and the conscious expression, right? Through my own personal experiences, um of leveling up, of doing the inner work and facing my shadows, and seeing the contrast. As you know, Scorpio is the sign of extreme. So I had to learn. My one friend said, you went from feast to famine, and everything, like, from sobriety to, practicing celibacy, and just very all or nothing all my life. I quit smoking. I wasn't like an addict or anything, but I did smoke a lot here and there. And even like maybe up until 2017, I found myself getting addicted to the vape. And did I share that story with you? That one day I was like was such a fiend with the vape that every time I stressed, it was like a breath, right? So that's when I, realized later on, when I started meditating, my journey of awakening started with meditation. And I said, oh, so I was just looking for breath. Every
Mm,
time I was looking to breathe.
wow.
Instead, I was holding it, and it just like replaced it. And the one, oh, let me share that story real quick. Let me backtrack. So one night I was so desperate that I didn't have the car at that day. And I don't know what the story was, but I couldn't go. I was so desperate that I called the store. Do you guys deliver? And they were like, no, sorry. Especially delivering just for a refill for the vape like that. I said, what is going on? Like just looking back at those little things that I would do for an addiction. And I completely did it cold turkey, holistically, everything holistically, no medication, nothing. I've healed a lot of my trauma, and some of it just released on its own through the process. Um, and just through daily practice of balance, like you said, on all four bodies. I nurture everything every day because I have the luxury now to be able to do that in my day. And it affects your 3D world, because then you balance your money, because you have to work I'm good at robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like I'm just good at kind of, but I'm also been this is what I've been working on the past 2 days. My housemate sent me this, and I bought my own copy because I want to give hers back in case somebody else needs to hear it. But it's pretty cool. Like I'll share it with you on another conversation, but I just started. So there's some exercises that I like affirming. I like visualizations. I like speaking things into existence. That's how my dream life is coming to life. And then aligning with that energy of receiving it and knowing that I'm worthy and deserving of it.
Yes, our words are wands. They are so powerful. And
Mhm.
so often people don't realize the spells that they're casting upon themselves. And just simply like switching up what you're saying, it can make such profound impact. And again, with you having Jupiter and Taurus, Jupiter that expands everything it touches, you have to be especially mindful as well, right? Because yes, exactly that. It matters. It's interesting that you say that situation with the vaping happened in 2017, because for me it was 2017 where I really felt I had to stop drinking. And I didn't think at the time that it was a problem, but I felt I have to stop doing this. And what's interesting is I tried on my own and I couldn't. Like I'd go stretches, but then I'd need something for that fix, you know? And
Uh-huh,
what's
uh-huh.
interesting is I feel that projectors especially have like a lot of anxiety because we pick up a lot that isn't ours, trying to answer
Yes.
questions that aren't ours and trying to do things for others that are ours to do. And it's, we all handle stress in different ways. And for me, it was by, drinking wine or vodka
Yeah.
pretty much every night. And so it was, I later got sober as well. And it's just so fascinating, though, that something in 2017 triggered us separately. That's another thing that's also very interesting to see in people's charts is like, what was it? What was a planetary alignment that did that for us? Because I'll tell you that in 2018, Uranus moved into Taurus. So for the both of us, we started a Uranus opposition. Like it was in the beginning stages of it. But for those of us who are so attuned to the unseen, we really feel things far before they like hit the official point, right?
Oh, yes, I
Right.
believe that.
And you were
In my
born.
body, in my
Yes,
body.
exactly. Exactly. Yes, I think projectors, we feel things profoundly in our body. And
Yeah.
yeah, for you, you were born with Uranus at 5 degrees of Scorpio. Scorpio is the sister sign, right? So whatever happens in the opposite sign, absolutely you feel it. And so very interesting that you are like even more attuned that like in 2017 is when you made that switch. And I too can relate to the all or nothing because Scorpio is my 12th house. And that's,
Mhm.
it's really deep as well. And yeah, so the all
Wow.
or nothing with working out or with the drinking or with I too had been celibate 7 years, and that has
Yay.
helped me profoundly though too because we're basically not taking on energy that isn't ours. We're not burning
Yes.
our precious energy foolishly on
Mhm.
nonsense, and I understand relationships are such a big part of this process, absolutely, but at the same time, like when we honor ourselves first and foremost, our bodies, our intuition, our superpower daily, as we were talking about, that is like I've told you this previously, but that's the type of wealth I want to continue to cultivate because that is
Oh,
something no amount of money can buy. An unshakable inner foundation of peace. Like,
yeah.
wow, especially in this day and age where there's so much uncertainty and chaos and calamity, we can match that with serenity in our bodies. Like, shoo,
What?
you know?
Yeah, and that inner flame just turned on. Once you burn through the darkness, once you burn through the wow, like for instance, like just not just being celibate, but like I felt my last lover's like energy leave my body. It took about 2.5 years. 2.5 years to cut the cord energetically, and I just felt purified in my body. And then ever since that, and I don't it's not that I still want to have sex again. And I know I will with the right person. um but you learn to kind of protect this, where I didn't get to do that when I was younger. When you were taught, don't have, don't do this until you do this, until you get married, all those rules and regulations. And I think I was but now it's like I'm exploring that at gonna be 50 years old, like what is, like I wonder, because if there's a fire, we don't even have to explain it. It's something magical that turns on inside. um it gives you this, like your body just, you appreciate it in such a different way that you've looked for in those partnerships, in those intimate moments. You've looked for that, and you're like, shoot, it was always here, right?
Yes.
So imagine when you find someone that also, on a similar caliber, with that same respect for the vessel,
Mhm.
on a higher level of consciousness, of appreciating those things, of why they say in the Bible, honor your vessel. Like there's wisdom in it. The wisdom of your body fully turns on. So I get it.
Oh,
I
I
get it.
love that. And that fire that you were talking about is going to amplify like we've never before experienced, like humanity has not experienced for almost 6,000 years, right? With that Aries energy, the additional that we have coming in, it's going to be profound. And we can alchemize that energy, right? Like so, like the fire doesn't go away, but we that arrows, right? That life force,
Yes.
that chi, it can be to creativity or to, like you said,
Yes.
just like even deeper connection with the vessel, right? With the
Yes.
intuition, with the psychic abilities, like, whoo,
It's
you know.
everything. And
Yes.
you just, I always found somewhere to channel it.
Yeah.
Like I took the pole classes, I took lyra, I took aerial arts. Like, my sensuality was able to play in that type of setting in a different way that I never experienced. And I got physical, like physically fit. at the same time. So I like that. I liked it as a sport as well. And I love dancing. I dance all the time like and it's the way to move the energy of what we were just sharing with one another of how being that, I believe that that's the embodiment of the high priestess because she sits there like a virgin, like the Virgin Mary, even her, like I don't know, that's the feeling that I get in that card.
I
Like
love that.
she's not exposed, like, she's kind of like covered up there. And there's something like sensual about her. You can't figure her out,
Yes,
right? It's
yes, I love
beautiful.
that. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, that reminds me of Virgo too. And Virgo, some interpretations of Virgo, it's interesting that they've been correlated with Scorpio. It's almost like two,
Yes, I've heard that.
right? Like two faces of
I've
the
heard
same
that.
coin, both profound, but like
So
realizing it's one, you know?
yes, because of the way they both take space from the world, the way they both go in and seek wisdom, and that's all that's what their daily lives are like, right? As a hermit in the tarot, that's um Virgo's the hermit, but the the divine counterpart of the high priestess in tarot is the Hierophant, which is connected with Taurus.
Mm.
Does that make sense? So Virgo, Taurus, and I'm gonna say High Priestess is very Pisces to me. I don't know why. Some people say Scorpio and Pisces because she has the moon by her feet, right? Like so, I think water. Um, so it's and I'm still learning. This is the Hierophant. This is kind of like her pair. See how they
Mm.
both between two columns?
Yes. I love that.
Um,
I'm not familiar with tarot and I love learning about it from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with I mean, I haven't taught in a while. On my one-on-ones I do, but like webinars, like Ask the Answers, asking me is asking if they want to help me promote my stuff, my sessions more. So I said yeah. So when I do tarot one day, you can, but right now, one at a time. I'm first gonna start with the just intuitive, the clairs and stuff, and how important that is. But I wanted to say, like, I pulled two oracle cards for you, so I want to see if it like aligns with what's happening inside, and you let me know. So I got Sagittarius, the Sagittarius card, and how you're ready for the next adventure. The big question for you is that you've been sitting on is, why am I here? Like, what am I going to do on a larger scale now? So there's this optimism being born inside of you, and you're on this quest. So Sagittarius needs to move. It needs to, even if you're moving around with Zoom, with traveling, online with different parts of the world, with new people that you're collaborating with, right? It's still travel to me. So you the ruling planet of Sag is what? Jupiter?
Jupiter, correct.
Okay. So that you have this larger than life presence that like it's time to come out.
Mm.
That's what I get from that. Like, and you're very optimistic about it because you finally have the freedom to do it.
Wow.
Okay? Does that make sense? That came out for you.
Wow, that's so resonant. I love that. See, you are so on point. I am a Sagittarius rising. Aries rules my fifth house, which means that what's coming, fifth house is children, among many things. It's children's hobbies, interests. It's a playground of the zodiac. I've been so serious all of my life, eldest daughter, single mama, trying to take care of my loved ones in my community, etc. But now I feel like it's going to be me time. Like, ooh, what do I want to birth? Like what body of work do I want to birth? And I feel so passionately about being of service to the collective, but doing it in a way that resonates, that's an equal
Yes.
energy exchange. And what's interesting is because I am a single mama, I am say maybe physically tethered to one space, but metaphysically, I travel everywhere every day, and
Yeah.
it's so much fun, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's I like you're gonna have one day your own, Dinah Maria's university. Like that's what I just
I love that.
see. Like you're
Love
gonna
it.
have like it's how they have those malls now where you could have a little bit of everything, right? Like you're gonna have that because as a like you have Virgo, right? As your son,
I do, yeah.
you already know what people who are chronically dissatisfied in their life need. I don't know. Those are the words that I'm hearing, and you have a loving and unattached way of helping people that is so magnetic.
I love it.
That's how I feel your Virgo energy.
I love
And,
that.
and I pulled also another card, which is ninth house. What is a ninth house?
It's fascinating because before you said that, I was feeling that Leo rules my ninth house. We have Jupiter moving into Leo at the end of June of 2026. And so my ninth house is going to be amplified. And it is about teaching, it is higher education, it's philosophy, it is learning, it is the
Yes.
Sagittarian energy, of the seeker, of curiosity, of open-mindedness. And so I absolutely feel that area expanding. And for me, my north node, my point of destiny, what I'm here to do in this lifetime is there as well. And I feel so passionately about that. So I love what you're speaking. I can literally feel my body just fireworks in my body. And not from an egoic way, but by any means, because Leo in its shadow is prideful, is the lion, look at me, but in a like, I genuinely want to help folks connect with their own selves in this way. To be, unapologetically true to whatever it is that they believe, that they love, that they want to do, and align them to their own values. I really want people to stop like second guessing themselves and just know we are all amazing in our own unique ways.
Yeah, I think you're meant to be traveling to get more inspiration as well. Like I feel and see that you're going to probably either like consider studying somewhere exotic, somewhere different where you're going to get to explore and it's going to come to you. Like this feels like a long journey, so it may not this is something that you're going to have to plan. It feels like a long distance journey and it's gonna trigger this, like you said, this ninth house, which is gonna catapult you to the next levels of your spiritual growth.
Wow.
And so I just see a wide open space,
Yeah.
um, and like I said, that could be like that space is there because you already know that you have a calling to teach, to pay
Yeah.
forward what you know
Yeah.
because you can't hold it in.
Yeah.
It feels selfish to not share the magic that you've discovered in healing and wisdom and in the power of astrology and human design, whatever other spiritual modalities that you're studying or have studied and use for yourself, because that's how we all, I think for me, that's how I got into it because I wanted to heal.
Oh,
I just kept
yeah.
studying.
And it's such a gift to now see like that desperation, the dark night of the soul that we've all faced. Um, like how that's just so incredibly helpful to help us pivot. It's like a launching pad. And for me, I also integrate everything that I learned from the rooms of recovery. Alcoholics Anonymous, alcoholics are like among the most incredible people that like those working a spiritual program, those who are active,
Yes.
in Alcoholics Anonymous, they are incredible. So for me, I incorporate that as well, like what I learned and the ability to speak from the depths of the soul and like get
Yes.
psychologically naked with people. Like, I
Yes.
literally had to stand in front of groups of hundreds of people and share the most awful, embarrassing things that I've done. And not in a shameful way, but you
Yeah.
share the heaviness and it literally gets it
Tested.
dissolves.
Yeah.
It really does, and I love that your ability to like get psychologically naked too because of the
Yeah.
Scorpio, right? I
Oh,
love that.
I'm blunt.
I
Pretty
love
blunt.
that. And you know
Yeah.
what, when you were talking about the Leo energy, I was thinking about how for you, Leo is the most public place of your entire chart. It is your career, your public reputation, your image, your role, what people say about Sherry. And I'm so excited for you because Jupiter is going to illuminate that big time. But before that, The February 1st full moon that we will have in Leo is at 13 degrees. Your midheaven is 14 degrees. So it's going to be right at that point. So
Wow.
I love that for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for, I mean, I like, I could start to feel it now because with all
Yeah.
the stuff happening, like, like little co-creative, like passion projects starting to just come and it's easy.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no cancellations, everything is flowing nicely. And what I've built behind the scenes all these years that I thought like, I'm helping. I never really like I just knew that my time will come, and I still believe that,
Oh, yeah.
where I'm going to be able to be seen and be reached more globally, more widely, even though I do that now via phone, and I have clients mostly global,
Yeah.
but like more like I'm not as social media savvy yet. Like I'm just learning it, and it's my first year really taking it like a little bit more seriously, but I can feel the structure, the discipline in things, and that's what my new moon readings, I just did some recordings yesterday, that those were the main messages for all the signs. Like I just noticed that there is no more winging it. There is no more, it's like a maturing of the plan. You
Mm.
know, spontaneity will always be there. It's instinctive for us, right? But now something is making me grounded. Like Ask the Answer is like organizing it for me and in a way that I was always scared to on my own, or so I'm just not interested in the technical part of like,
Yeah.
I just like to deliver. I can't do everything, right? And that's why I feel blessed and guided to for them, because they're like doing all the marketing stuff, and I don't have that. And I maybe in other things I do, like
Yeah.
organization, like I'm good at organizing like my closet or my cards, like I can
Yeah.
take someone's closet and color code it. Like it has to be something that I know that I'm confident in, and it's like it's focused. But like technology has always gave me the willies. Like I don't feel as confident.
I love that you're speaking to your 11th house. So, as a Scorpio rising, Virgo rules your 11th house. So, the practicality, the organization, the wanting to be of service, that is your 11th house. And 11th house is our friends, communities, people we choose to surround ourselves with. It's also
Yes.
your fans, right? And so, like people who love you for what you do. So, I love that. And then, whenever you see whatever sign, right, you want to know, okay, well, who's the ruler of that sign and where's that person in your chart? So,
Yeah.
Mercury rules Virgo. You have Mercury in Taurus in your seventh house of one-on-one relationships, of long-term relationships, not just romantic, right? And so
Yeah.
how beautiful, because Mercury in Taurus is like takes a slow and steady approach. The contemplative approach is highly intuitive. So I love it. Like for what you do, and then what you're appreciated for, and then the support that you get. It's wonderful to see how it all just flows so effortlessly, as it should, right? I feel like so
Yeah.
often people make things harder on themselves, because
Yeah.
potentially they're trying to do it like, the next person, but that's not how we're intended to flow, especially again, going back to the projector thing, right? We have our own unique
Mhm.
superpowers.
Yeah. And I've noticed since I was a little girl, I'm really good at attracting other people's resources and using them for my highest good. And it's always usually now win-win situations. When there's an imbalance, I speak up. When there's an imbalance, I feel it. I don't let myself go into resentment anymore, because I've learned to be firm with my boundaries and to honor them. And I could tell sometimes too, like when people like easily, I could see patterns when I read cards of people who carry resentment, and they're never successful in new relationships because they keep carrying that emotional baggage, which I've also done. That's why I can see it so well now. Once you see it, admit it, accept it. Once you go through those grieving stages, as you know, you you start to embody truth. You start to um your body rejects synthetic. Your body rejects falsities. Like you just know, it won't align. And so that's why I learn and honor listening to my inner wisdom now, where just doesn't feel that good. I'll sometimes, in the spleen, I get, like that burning sensation in my gut, or sometimes it does come up in my heart. Like I do feel a little tightening,
Mhm.
like it feels a little restricted, like when something really bothers me and I keep because the hardest for me to break is the family one, the familial expectations, right? Like, and I've been working so hard on that lately, and it's kind of working because
Oh,
I'm honoring the space, and like you said, some things might come up in these next 2 weeks, so I'm going to be on the lookout, and I'll keep you posted.
and also too, so Leo is the heart. And so Leo, again, is the most public place in your chart. And Leo is also your mom's sun. The sun for anybody is the essence, the life force, the vitality, right? Everything revolves around the sun. And so, yeah, there is a lot there. And I imagine in human design, without seeing your chart, that you have an open heart center. Open heart center
Yeah.
means you're even more susceptible to others, right? And their energy and their feelings, etc. But again, just knowing how we're wired, what to look out for, what dates, how our loved ones are wired too. It's so profoundly helpful to know, like,
Mhm.
who do you surround yourself with the most? And if you know their birthday, you can see
Yeah.
how their planetary alignments interact with yours, what they trigger, what they
Yeah.
bring out in you. And I love too that you previously had mentioned how you were easily able to attract the resources of others because Gemini rules your eighth house of other people's money. Eighth house is also like it's intense, but one of the many things that it encompasses is other people's money. And Uranus is going to be moving in there at the end of April, right? Not that far away. And Uranus, the planet
Yeah.
of sudden, shocking, disruptive surprises, right? Moving in there, that feels very exciting for you because it's going to spend like 7 years in Gemini. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
yeah, we got a little taste of it
Wow.
last year. Yeah, last year, starting July 7th, we got a taste of it, but this is going to be like, we're in it for the long haul, starting end of April.
I'm gonna go back to July 7th later after the call because I want to know, like I'm try to recall to see because it just makes so much sense. Everything every time you dated back, like where were you and what was going on 2015 or whatever, it made so much sense with it coming back around today. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm curious too, like it was in Gemini for a couple of months. It went retrograde right around September 6th, but it was still in Gemini. But I'd be curious about your experience because for me, and I wonder if it's a projector thing, but I am impacted by the transits like on the day of. And not that I'm like looking out for something to happen, like, because the moon
no,
isn't, you know what I mean? But I can go back years and years and years before I knew anything about astrology. And I'll remember a certain thing, like, for example, an ex-boyfriend of mine who was massively toxic tried to murder my dad. And I could go back to the date, the time, everything when I was present. And I could do this for really big, shocking, terrible things that have happened in my life. And I could see, oh my God, look at how things were precisely lined up. That would take 250 years to have that, or 50 years to have that. And it's just like, it makes me just more all in with this. But yeah, I'm just curious again about your experience when you go back and revisit certain dates.
yeah, no, I resonate deeply with what you're saying, how it just it's sometimes days before.
Yes.
Sometimes for me, and then sometimes I had this beautiful apartment on the water, and that's when I really started opening up to my powers even deeper, started using it, to read for people and do healings. I did women circles at that apart. It was so sacred, my little space. And I would feel like intuitively when the earth was moving, or like the planet, there was a shift in the planets because you could see the waves of the water, and you could see the way the trees would rustle. Like it felt like even though the earth wasn't moving, I could feel like it was shown to me, and then I would look it up and I'm like, oh. So it's intuitive. Like if you really, really, even if you don't know astrology, if you're silent and still enough, everything communicates.
Yes, I
Nature.
completely agree. Yes, I speak to Mother Earth like every day. Like, how are you feeling? And literally, like, I can feel, and even an earthquake coming. And granted, I live in California, we have earthquakes often, but I can feel like, no, it's going to be above 6.0. And sure enough, within a couple days, and people say, oh, you can't predict stuff like that. It's not about predicting, but it's about being that in tune with the water, the trees, the birds, the bees, like all of it, like you were saying. And water carries memory. She's ancient, she's profound. She can tell us so much if
Mhm.
we take the time to cultivate that relationship, which I feel very strongly about. And you being a Scorpio rising, like the connection to the water, like it just sounds like it soothes your soul. And I'm curious about your environment and human design because that can also tell us like where we're best suited to be supported to tap into the powers, just as you said, right? It seems like
Yeah.
there's something profound about being literally near the water within eyesight of the water.
Yes, I would spend like hours just staring. Like it's just and I've worked a lot in my in the living room, but I also loved working in my room and just like I had the sliding doors to just step out. It was just magical. There was something healing about it. It's potent.
Yeah.
I believe you with the earthquakes because when I was a little girl in the Philippines, they're very common and I could feel it in my body. I would feel the house shake. That's how in tune, like as a little girl, like, wow, who cares about earthquakes? You know what I mean? At that age, like 5 years old, like, or four even, I think I was. And it would catch like, I would be a little scared about it because I didn't understand. I think, this is Mother Nature. She's powerful. Like, we don't have, like, that's how I began, like, my relationship with nature is through those experiences because they're common in the Philippines.
Yeah, so here in the San Francisco Bay Area, the last time we had a large earthquake was October 17th, 1989, and I hardly ever get sick because I am a splenic projector. I can really feel what's healthy for me and what's not. Like even drinking, for example, I didn't get to the depths that so many do, because I just intuitively knew that it was no longer for me. I had to stop, right? So then going back to October 17th, 1989, I was barely had turned 8, but that day I was sick. And so I stayed home from school. And then, fast forward to I think it was like at 5:10 p.m. that night, that's when we had the large earthquake. But just fascinating that my body knew, even though like, my mind wasn't able to process. I think so often too, we'll try to like intellectualize it, not you and I, but maybe society. And I feel like we're really intended to live more in our bodies because our bodies are so wise. They will never lie to us. Our inner compass will
Mhm.
never steer us incorrectly. And whether it's
No.
through the connection with like Mother Earth or some people in their dream space really get profound, downloads and hits, but more and more trusting that is just, I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about it. And
Oh,
for me, goosebumps are one of the ways that I know it's
oh
true,
yeah.
at least for me, because we can't force ourselves to do stuff like get goosebumps, right?
No, no, I get tingling all over the
Yeah.
crown. The other
Yeah.
day with you, I was getting it on my arms. Like it's so fun because it's like, ooh, it's real.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
but I think we have another 4 minutes, but I'd love to explore that sometime in another divine conversation with you with how, our journeys, especially we both interested in the body astrology and how we can use our elements, right? To heal a lot of ailments because that's what I've mostly had, thank God. I never really had any like major sicknesses or diseases. I've always had little ailments that, holistically I can manage, right? And there's some things that you can't, there's some things that you might, of course, I don't like giving medical advice because I'm not a professional, but I always tell, the clients, make sure, you check with your doctor and, you see what is best for you. But when someone's starting on their intuitive journey with me, I love teaching the pendulum,
Mm.
using the pendulum swing in the wisdom in our body, right? So you know about that?
Yes, I just started working with the pendulum maybe 9 months ago. I'd never before worked with it, and that has been profound to confirm.
Yeah.
Just yeah, it's
But do you
beautiful.
use your body? Do you know how to use your body?
Oh, just your body alone without holding a pendulum in your hand?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I taught. That's what I teach in my intuitive classes. So let's do it real quick. So
yes, I love that.
yeah, I'm gonna show you how it works so that you could test it, in
Okay,
your own time. So you're gonna stand up real quick,
okay. Do I move it to?
and then
Sorry.
you're going to like think of we're gonna test it.
Okay,
We're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna
okay.
take a deep breath in through the nose and relax. Hold it for 5 and then exhale for 5 through the mouth and release everything. And then you're going to put your hands left and then right over your heart. Your feet should be like a little like shoulder width apart. And then just say, my name is Sandra.
My name is Sandra. I feel
Okay,
a
it's a,
pull
where
going
did it
back.
go?
I
It
feel
went
a
back.
pull going backward. Yeah.
Okay, now say your real name.
My
My
name
name
is
is,
Dinah Maria. Ooh, it pulled forward.
there you
That's so,
go. So you got your yes and you got your no.
oh, that's so interesting.
So you when you have a burning question, let's
Yes.
do one together. Like
Okay.
we don't even have to tell each other. Just in your head, quietly to yourself. It has to be a yes or no question. Well, I always lead it with, is it in my best interest to blah blah blah. Go
Okay.
ahead. And then I'll watch you.
Gosh. Uh, is it in service of my highest and greatest good to write a book? Oh.
You moved
Oh.
forward before you even finished asking the
Wow.
questions. You already know.
Wow. That's so cool. Okay, so I have to tell you a story real quick. So when oh, I'm so sorry, friend. I did not mean to hurt you.
Aw.
I in Tahoe last summer, I connect with Lake Tahoe all the time. And like we have ancient history. But anyway, I was just standing inside of her and talking to her. Um, she's very sensitive to the Aries point, and so I was talking to her about what's going to come, right? And actually, on June 21st of last year, there was a tragic boating accident that resulted in the death of 8 people. And so I was having these conversations with her beforehand about like what was going to transpire with Saturn and Neptune, hitting her that Aries point where she has Uranus. And I would feel the waves actually shift or they get more abrupt. And there was nobody on the water on certain times that I was doing this. And so I'm like, what is going, like, this is profound. So how beautiful that we were both working together. And literally she would, and I could feel her unease. I remember specifically, I was standing in Lake Tahoe on May 25th when Saturn moved into Aries and joined Neptune. And so she had called me to go be with her. And while I'm walking down, I literally see a bear. And then when I get on the rocks by the water, my boys and I are just surrounded by bats. Anyway, it was profound, but I could feel that
Wow.
there was
Those are all
unease.
spirit animals too.
Yes, yes, right? Oh my gosh. Anyways, but it was just profound
That's
to
so
then be in
deep.
her and feel like what I experienced just now. That's so cool. You got me all
Yeah,
excited.
so I use that like for food. Is this in my like, if you're at the store, if you want timing, like it's good for anything that's answering that you already know, but you just want to confirm it. So
Wow.
we most of the time we already know. And sometimes you're gonna get a left and right. And for me, the left and right, it's different for everyone,
Okay.
right? For me, the left and right is a maybe,
Yeah.
and then sometimes it'll go back because I'm holding myself back.
Oh, interesting. That
And
is fascinating.
you don't want to do it where like not you because you're doing the inner work, right? Some people who are new to it may force an answer.
Mm.
It doesn't work just like with the pendulum, right?
Yeah.
You can't force it. You have to allow it and you have
Yeah.
to let the energy move through you,
Yeah.
right? Where people can like, oh no, it was a yes, but it kept saying no. And I'm like, well, you're still confused. You
Yeah.
have to really tune in until you trust your own wisdom,
Wow.
you know?
That is so profound. So I noticed that you're going to be teaching something on January 22nd, which is right around the corner. Is this going to be part of that?
Oh, I that's one of the exercises. I teach every class. I encourage people to work with me for 5 weeks to
Okay.
develop their intuitive spiritual gifts and abilities. And that's just one exercise. I do so many fun exercises. I used to have groups of this online a lot, but I don't know what happened. I think it's coming back online now in a different way.
Yeah, it
I
feels that
didn't
way.
expect this.
I'm excited
So
for you.
yeah, thank you. So if you could well, no, this one's not an actual class. This is like an intro. Like she's going, they're going to ask me like what's a session like within your intuitive classes. But I'm happy to do one of those with you and the boys sometime
I love that. I love that.
because they could participate, you know?
Yes, yes, they're highly attuned. It is
Yeah.
incredible to see.
I'm meant to work with indigo children. I know that's one of my purposes because I'm surrounded by them. But we'll talk about that. But I don't want to keep you. It's already 5:04, 5:03, 4:03 for you. I know you have to go get the kids, right?
Yeah, well, no, I had a deadline at 4 o'clock, so I just need to finish working on that to have it submitted in time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
this
could
is
keep talking.
amazing. Yes,
I
this
could
is
keep
so
talking.
cool. We should do it. Like, I like the bite-sized bits, so like our energy, you know what I mean?
I know.
Right? But
Yeah, I'm I'm pretty open, like with and I like your flexibility. You're pretty, because some of my gigs they call me last minute.
Yeah.
So, but you're so flexible like that I don't feel the pressure, which, I appreciate.
Oh yeah, you never have to feel pressure with me. And if it doesn't, work out, then we could do it another day. You know what I mean? I
That's
really try to flow like that just in general, because why stress off of stuff we have no
Yeah,
control over?
because I want to come in with energy, with like
Yeah,
good energy. I don't want to come
totally.
in running or like, oh my God, I'm late, or I feel pressured that I have to perform, like,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing that in the new earth.
Right, exactly. I love
No.
that. Oh, I'm so excited. But yeah,
Me
send me
too.
your email and then I will remind me
Yeah,
the name of the thing again.
if you want to take time and edit it, edit it. If
I've
you
never
feel
edited,
okay.
so I
Okay, I
could
just
just,
want to give you that, because I'll pick little bits in here, like, and I'll use them on my shorts too, like on my in some in stories, some in the posts. Like, I want to highlight a good one with that shows our bond and what you do.
yeah.
Like, like how I do with my stuff. I kind of, because you're not supposed to go past a minute and 20
Oh, good to know. Okay.
with reels. If you post as reels or post
Oh,
when you
really?
do a video, because new people cannot see it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good
They
to
say
know.
it to you. So only a minute and 20 you're allowed to do of the recording. So that's why this is a lot of content. Like,
Yeah.
if you wanted, you should really start using your content also on YouTube since you're doing it. You do so much, you do more than me. You have the momentum. You might as well start your YouTube so you don't have to start later on. You just have to upload both. Don't
Oh,
get crazy with TikTok right now. That's too much. But like, try and maybe start a YouTube now because it takes time to grow.
okay.
And you're already doing it.
Yeah, I'm so curious about, I don't consider myself to be tech savvy either. And so that's why I'm just like,
Oh, it's easy. If I could do
learning.
it, a Virgo, you are going to
Yeah.
be the mastermind because you're more, I feel that's your wheelhouse more than mine, but it's very self-explanatory to
Cool.
start an account.
Cool.
Especially if you're going to be doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Like that's what people are talking for 3 hours. Sometimes they get like they get in the algorithm quick.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
how
Okay.
these people are aligning with other, more higher, like communities that are already in the you're up there. You got a lot of followers. You're pretty up there. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I shared with you previously, right? That I got a lot of followers
yes,
from a post where I didn't even talk. So I was like, they're not even necessarily here for what I'm about, right? They are just like, it was more like a fun
it
goofing off
doesn't
post, you know?
matter. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
Sometimes I it's almost like even if you don't, sometimes it's a gift. Sometimes I almost want to say the enemy has it's an enemy in disguise that is actually here to support you. Like, that's why it's not the enemy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know why I said that, but
Interesting.
like, if I don't, like, just because you don't align or agree on certain things,
Yeah.
they're a gift, because that means that you were so open that you
Yeah.
were able to transmute whatever misalignments, and you were gifted more followers. You were gifted an opening to a community who they are probably, I believe, are ready to level up with you.
I love that. I love
So,
that. Thank
you know what
you.
I mean? That was
Yeah.
that was like a portal for you to help more people.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how it comes. It's just it was authentic. It was
Yeah.
you doing you. It was
Yeah.
you sharing the way you do. That's what I love about you. You just when you get the hit, you do it. And
Yeah.
I'm like that for the most part. I'm like that, but I have to, yeah, I live in a big house here, and then downstairs I like to record in the light, and it's a lot to bring my work, and sometimes I'm on call. So, like, I have to make more time for it. Before I was posting 3 a day, but it got a little like too much, and I was feeling burnt out. As a projector, I
Yeah.
don't know if I have that, like, I could do it when I have the energy, but when I
Yeah.
don't have the energy, I'm just gonna give the minimum.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
why, like, wow, you don't have the same issues as me, probably. You don't have the burnout.
Yeah. Well, because I've really like, I take that projector piece seriously. Like I don't mess around with it. And so, yeah, I will literally have learned to say no and sit in the discomfort of that. of the, I really should be doing what I used to do. I look back at my calendar, even as late as like 2023, and it fills me with anxiety. A friend of mine had said, "Oh yeah, we did a reading. I did my first ever astrological reading in November of 2023, but she had thought it was October." So I went back to my calendar and I was like, "Oh my God, my days will be back to back to back to back to back." Oh hell no. Like I have, appointments and things I need to do. I need to pick up the boys, take them to the doctor, things like that. Okay. But beyond that, it's on me if I choose to like have clients back to back to back to back. And certainly there's deadlines and things to do, but I need for my sanity, I need that sacred solitude daily.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, and you do. I think you're pretty balanced and it shows. You're so Virgo is so grounding. Your Virgo energy is so grounding. What is your moon again? Sag?
No, Leo. Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leo moon,
Oh,
that
so
pattern.
you attract so naturally. Leo for me is in the my MC, right?
Yes,
So,
exactly. So my moon is like conjuncture MC, which I think
wow.
is part of our resonance of how things line up. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop talking now because we could go on for hours, but this was lovely.
Yes,
And
thank
I
you.
can't wait for it. I'll send you
I'm
my
excited.
email
Okay.
and then you do it at your own convenience. And then when you want to schedule another one, you let me know because I'm free until the week of the last day would be like the 4th or the 5th
Of
of
February.
February.
Okay.
Then I go on to Mexico until the 14th.
Okay. So yeah, when I
6 to 14. Then I need a day or two to myself.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
So
Okay,
then after
beautiful.
that, be back on the night. But you feel into it, like that's how we've been doing it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I love it. Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, have a wonderful
Bye,
weekend.
Dinah.
All right,
You
bye.
too. Enjoy, okay? And reach out anytime.
Yes, you too.
You also have my cell too.
Oh, I need to double check. I think I do. But I want to say I do. I don't
Let
know.
me see. You have both, so you can contact. Yeah, I put Dinah astrologer.
Fantastic. Cool.
I put hi.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
You got
Okay,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Yes, you're on there. Okay,
Anytime
cool.
you need support, also I'm there for you. And I'm excited.
Thank you.
I think it went so well.
I agree. I think again, you and I just are natural selves, and what we're moving into, that authenticity that you were talking about, because Leo, it can be performative. So we have it in us to be that, but we combine the authenticity, the organic, we didn't plan for this, it's just gonna flow like that is a
It's
felt
humble. It's
yeah,
humble.
yeah, but people could feel that too, right? It's not like a written script or like, okay, is on the agenda next, right? And people will resonate more and more with that authenticity. So I'm excited for us.
That's what I want to call in.
Yes, getting goosebumps.
That's all I want to call in because
1000%.
yeah,
1000%.
because there's a lot of like jealous eyes I always sense around me sometimes, and I want more authentic. I
Yes,
want more, you know,
yes,
and they're gonna be there regardless, but I have some protection around me,
yes,
so I don't
exactly.
allow it to, but I know it's there.
Mm.
That's why I said I'm calling in more
Yes, only those
authenticity.
in service of your highest and greatest good. 1000%, for sure.
Yeah. All right. All
All
right.
right,
Take care. We'll
bye.
talk soon.
Okay. Mhm.
Bye.